You're now listening to Unfiltered with Mia, where filters fade and real connection begin. Each week, I sit down with inspiring guests, all share solo reflection for raw and honest conversation about growth, challenges, and the wins that shape us. Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Unfiltered with Mia. And this is again a returning guest on the podcast today. She's been on the podcast 3 times now, I think. 2 or 3 times. I'm confused. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Do you guys know who it is? I'm gonna see. If you know who she is, comment down in the comment box. But yeah,
They should know.
by now you better know. But today we have Erica Consoli with us. So obviously you are a hypnotherapist.
Yeah,
Licensed now.
That is one of my...
One of many more.
one
of many more titles to her. But today we're
Yeah.
going to mainly talk about hypnotherapy, right?
Yes.
So if you guys actually listened to the previous episode we recorded, we dived into what was hypnotherapy. We talked about the myth, and we really explained what was hypnotherapy because there's still till now a lot of misconception about it.
Yeah, I hear it every day.
Exactly. So just to warm up a little bit, what are the current misconception that you still hear?
That it's woo-woo, that is, people think that you will be controlled by me. That's the main
The
point,
one,
that you will be under the control of another person, meaning the hypnotherapist. I even ghosted by a potential client for another thing, not for hypnotherapy, because he went to research on me and saw that I'm a mindset coach and a hypnotherapist. And then he asked me, oh, so you're a psychologist and a hypnotherapist? Like, he was confused. And I was like, I do that as well. And I never heard from him again.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Well, just to let's just give a little bit of people like a refresh of let's just easy way to describe hypnotherapy.
So hypnotherapy, what does to the person is basically it will put you in a relaxed state, okay? And through hypnosis will enter the subconscious, where there's a lot of information from early years until the moment that you're sitting with me are stored. And in there, we can understand patterns that perhaps during your conscious moment during the day, you wouldn't recall and remember. And it happens a lot of times that when there is a certain trauma or pattern that happens to you, then those arise during the session. So it's basically digging into the subconscious and understanding yourself better.
I love that. And it's so funny that actually, you know how things just meant to happen for a reason, because the previous episode for you guys, or the episode I just recorded, which was with Sam, we literally talked about the same thing, how much our memory and our subconscious mind have so much information that we store from the past, you know?
Absolutely.
So I thought for today's approach, let's say for people to understand what is hypnotherapy, why is it so good, why do I always preach about it, and I'm a firm believer about it, not just because we're friends, but because it actually helped me and it works. I truly believe this is a tool that helps a lot, and it is a tool that you can add to help yourself, right?
Absolutely.
So in order for people to get a better, broader I would say understanding, I thought let's use an example.
Sure.
And the best example I always use when we're on the podcast is myself.
Why not?
Exactly.
I mean, you're here. So.
Exactly. So because I can't talk for everyone, I can talk for myself. So one of the things that we'll use one main topic, which is self-doubt. Self-doubt, not feeling like lacking self-worth. Let's put like self-doubt and that, right? So as a child, there was many things that I was told or remembered or experienced that felt that I was not good enough. and I doubted every step or everything that I would do. It would take a lot for me to think, oh, okay, I can do that. Like if even
I
if
can or I can't.
I can't do that.
Okay.
Like it would, like for example, if you were to tell me, Mia, because if you know, I was actually a very shy kid.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
were you?
I was actually a very, very shy kid. So me now is a completely different person, because as a kid, if you were to ask me, go speak to someone over there or go pay something, I would freak out. I would be like, no, 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 I'm not going there. Obviously, there was over the time I was able to overcome this. However, in certain circumstances, I will feel triggered, and that little kid that couldn't talk will pop up again, right?
Absolutely.
And I think, is that one of your common topics you get with your clients?
Self-doubt.
Yeah.
I think at a certain level, we all have a little
Okay.
bit of self-doubt that might arise in certain situations that will trigger that self-doubt, right? You might be very comfortable in the camera, but for example, if I was recorded when I was a child for whatever, like my parents put me to do an ad for a commercial and I didn't do well, then probably right now I would be freaking out being in front of the camera, because that moment could, just make me think I am not good in front of the camera. And what you're telling yourself when you're that little, like, I'm not good in front of the camera, it will make you doubt yourself once you're in the same situation, and maybe it will arise there and not in another environment in which you will feel comfortable. So I think we all have, until a certain extent, a little bit of self-doubt depending on the situation, as I just said. But yeah, it's something that goes always back to, I am not good enough in XYZ.
Okay, right. So what we'll do now, let's say I'm your client, and let's say we're going to do a live consultation right now.
Okay.
Let's say we're putting it as a live consultation. So if I tell you, when I go to the gym, I'm very scared to speak to people, and I put my headphones and I do my workout very quickly. And I don't know, I don't feel comfortable in social environments, and I don't feel I can complete a project when I want to work on something. I feel like I can't finish something.
Okay. So we're talking about two different things here.
Okay.
First, you're telling me that you're not doing well in a social situation, whether it's at the gym or whatever that is.
Self-doubt?
Yeah. Okay. But then you're telling me another thing, which is I can't complete a project.
Yeah.
So those are two different topics.
Okay.
Okay. Would you say that you're relating not completing a project because I'm involved with other people?
Yeah. Let's say.
So it would be in a social environment.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So give me an example of that particularly. Because if you're doing an intake with me, which is the initial consultation before we get into the hypnotherapy session, I would want to go to the specifics, because I want to understand exactly when you're triggered and not to be very broad. Because if you're very generic, your mind would go to so many places when you're in the session that we might not find the root cause.
Okay.
And we'll get back to the root cause later.
So let's say if I tell you, whenever I want to voice out something, I just don't feel that it would make any sense. That if I were to show my perspective of things, I think people would say, oh, it's not worth it. Like, it's not good enough.
Okay. So if I hear right, you're saying that your main issue is that you don't trust yourself into replying into a conversation.
Yeah.
Okay. So would you say it's public speaking, or would you say that you're not comfortable giving your opinion?
I wouldn't say public. Yeah, giving my opinion, okay. I would say. Let's say if I'm someone who I have this, let's say, this idea, this business idea, right? And I want to go forward with it, and I've did my business plan and I'm ready to go pitch it. And then I completely stop because I'm like, actually, no, why would people
Okay, so you're not comfortable sharing your ideas because you think they're not good enough.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's the main problem.
Exactly.
And that would be what would be treating in the session. Okay, so I'm not comfortable sharing ideas because I don't believe my ideas are good enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we get into the session, then I would take you back to a moment in which you firmly believed that your ideas are not good enough. Exactly. And why that caused you to act with self-doubt or not being comfortable talking to people in public and so on.
Exactly.
Okay, and so after this, I would be asking you more questions. Do you want me to continue with that?
Yes, please.
Okay, so tell me when you have to share an idea into a meeting. Okay, it's your pitch for a new project, and you start having this self-doubt about your idea. What do you feel in your body, and what do you tell to yourself in your mind?
I would feel stress. I would start having panicking. I wouldn't be able to express myself properly.
How would you panic? Describe that.
Panic for me would be that I would start doubting what I've put together, thinking, oh, but did I think about this? Did I think about that? And maybe I did actually put everything on paper.
Okay.
But the reality is when I will come to pitching, I'll be like, oh, but if let's say they ask me something that I don't know about, I will start panicking and I'll be like, oh, you see, it's not good. You shouldn't have done that. And you start spiraling and you start thinking, oh, I should have never gone forward with that.
And what would you feel in your body at this time?
Heart racing. I would start feeling almost like a heat going through the body.
Okay.
And a slight shaking that only I can see, but no one can see.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So if I hear you right, once you're in that situation, you would start feeling your heart rate going up and shaking.
Yeah.
And a heat.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
No. That's it.
Yeah. And then you would also start spiraling in your mind, thinking, okay, but I didn't connect this properly, and why am I saying this? And then maybe if they ask you something that is catching you by surprise, let's say, you would freeze. Would you freeze, or would you?
I was. How do you say the word in English? Stutter.
Stutter.
Like you
go. Yeah, you would stutter.
Yeah, that.
Would you?
I would. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I've never seen you in
stutter?
Stuttering. No.
It happened in the past where I stuttered.
Very rarely, because you're pretty good at talking.
I did stutter before.
Hence the podcast here. Okay, so this would be the first part. So I want to understand what's the main problem and what it does to you when you're in that circumstance that is triggered and giving you all these issues that you just described.
Yeah.
Okay, so is there anything else that happens to you, or any other situation aside from a meeting? It could be with your friends, with
it could also happen with a friend as well. Let's say if, for example, we are in an environment that I am with friends, and let's say I have my opinion about something, but a part of me will fear to say it because I would think that, they would be like, oh, but that's actually a stupid point, or that I would feel judged, or I would feel like maybe I don't even have to say it out loud. I just can keep my opinion for myself.
Okay.
So maybe it's that feeling of being judged and doubting my own opinion.
Judged, and what else?
Judged and maybe not loved and not accepted within the friend group.
Okay.
So I think it's also related to a fear of rejection, I would say.
And you would say that you wouldn't feel loved because?
Because if I voice out, they might not accept it.
Okay, so this is just for you to understand how I would then take it into the session. But when your subconscious is open and more receptive, it's easier to do because right
Yes,
now you're
of
not in a
course.
hypnotic state. So it's you are controlling what you're saying or
Absolutely.
what you think that it is.
Absolutely.
But we would do this practice throughout the session in which then whatever comes to mind just have to come out.
Exactly.
And that is your subconscious just talking to you and telling you why you feel a certain way.
Exactly. And I think why I wanted people to understand how that would feel like, even though, guys, let's put it like you said it, I'm not in a hypnosis state. So I will not, when you're in a hypnosis state, it's not that you would act a different way, it's that you would, whatever comes to your mind first will just basically come first. Right?
Correct.
Right now, like you said, I am thinking, which normally when you're doing a session, you don't think, you don't have time to think. You just
I wouldn't even give you the time to think because
exactly.
the more you start thinking, the more is controlled
Exactly.
by the conscious mind. And we don't want that because you're in that
Absolutely.
state for most of your time throughout your day. But we are there, and the person who is doing the session needs to surrender to what comes up. And
Absolutely.
for that, you need to be completely comfortable, open, and just let yourself go with it. Plus,
Absolutely.
you're still in control. Just let go of the control of the thoughts,
Exactly.
not your body per se.
Absolutely. And I think that's the reason why I really wanted people to have a feel of how it is, because there's no woo woo behind it. There's nothing that you cannot do. Like, you're still very conscious. It's I when I did sessions, I heard everything. I'm responding. So
Absolutely.
it's not something that you're completely, I would say, like, lost of control per se. Right?
No, you wouldn't. And I always say this: if throughout the session there is need to open your eyes or you have to go to the toilet, like hopefully not, because you don't want to interrupt your
Of
session.
course.
At the end of the day, you
Of
want to
course.
go all the way through. But if for any reason there is an emergency or someone feels uncomfortable, they're completely free to open up their eyes and just either redo the induction
Absolutely.
or continue another time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but then so we can finish with this because
Of
it would
course.
be just the intake that we do at the beginning. Then I would be asking you some more questions,
Yes.
and the next one would be a little bit about your childhood. And we will not go deep into this, and bear in mind that the first part of the session would be just maximum 20 minutes because we want to do the heavy work when the
Afterwards.
person is
Yeah.
in hypnosis. But then I would be asking about the childhood, the relationship with the parents, siblings, if there is any, how was it at school, friendships, and so on, right? Just to have a broad idea. And so I will not be asking you this, but we will go to the next question, which would be, what do you want the outcome to be from what we're going to work on today?
Okay. So for me, based on what I've said, it would be to feeling free to speak out my mind and not being scared of being judged, or not being scared that if ever this idea or whatever I'm putting out there is not correct, then it's fine. It does not make me any less as a person. And I want to have more of a freedom of, like, okay, I'm expressing myself. I am putting my ideas out there. My ideas are valid.
Okay, so, and this is another point, we want to always talk positive.
Yeah.
Because your mind doesn't really understand no. So if you say, I don't want to be judged,
Yeah.
then your mind will just completely erase the no, and
Okay.
it will understand, I want to be judged.
Yes.
Not clearly like that, but to put it simply, yeah. So if you don't want to feel judged, what is it that you want to feel?
Appreciated, heard,
Okay.
seen,
Okay.
validated.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is something external, but how do you want to feel within yourself? What do you want from you, from your inside, from your mind? the way that you feel about yourself when you express yourself in public?
I want to inspire myself of like looking at myself and be like, wow, I like what you're talking about.
So you want to be proud of yourself.
Proud of myself, correct.
Okay.
Yes.
But this would come after to the last question, which would be, what do you want your life to look like?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if tomorrow you wake up and you don't have
I love that question.
this self-doubt when you speak and express your ideas, how would your life be looking like? But then, so what do you want is to express your opinion and ideas freely.
Exactly.
Knowing that they're good enough.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because the problem is, like, for example, for me, if I were to say self-doubt, is you doubt yourself, but the problem is that self-doubt is not helping you because you're stuck at one point. So you will, at the place of being able to reach the final point, you will reach maybe halfway through and then you'll be like, no, actually no. And then you go back to A again. Mm-hmm. And then another idea will come again. And then same thing will happen, but then you go back rather than completing this till the end. Mm-hmm. Put it like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then if you wake up tomorrow and the self-doubt is gone completely, how would your life be looking like?
I would have opened maybe 5 businesses by now.
Wow.
Like all my ideas went to achievement. Like I achieved my goals. Lost couple of ideas, but that's fine. That's fine.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It happens to everybody,
exactly.
Even to the most successful people.
The main ones is out there. I'm thriving. I'm raising awareness. Everyone is proud of me. I'm proud of myself. I'm really happy I wake up with so much energy every day doing things that I love and talking about things that I love.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And why haven't you worked on this yet? I want to see those 6 businesses.
This is not an actual therapy session. It's just doing a stimulation. But I need to. We will do a session soon.
Okay.
so yeah, the reality is that, okay, so we've done that. And then just for people not to get lost in the process.
So this is the intake that we would do very quickly at the beginning of the session.
Yeah.
And once that is all cleared out, I will prepare you. I will just ask you to either switch off or put your phone in silence or do not disturb, because we don't want any external noise just so you're completely calm. I would ask you if you need to use the washroom, and then just to sit yourself comfortable. And then we will take it from there.
Perfect. So one thing that I want to mention is the reason of why I wanted to use example, and the reason of why I wanted to put it out there, and I want your take on that as well, is that people don't realize how important doing therapy or hypnotherapy session is important, because whatever we do is repeated patterns of what we're taught or how we, in the environment that we grew up and believe that we hold on to, right? Mm-hmm. And very often, such as self-doubt, is one of these things that we think is right, but actually it's not right. It is detrimental to what we want to achieve in the future, right?
Absolutely.
And for me, when I look into it, it's like, first of all, you need to catch the pattern of like, why am I always going through that loop, right? And you will realize that it's a little trigger sometimes is enough to
turn it on.
Exactly. So tell me a bit more of your take about this.
Okay, so I truly believe that understanding your patterns is the first step. Mm-hmm. But I would say understanding your patterns is not enough, because then you become just very good at talking at the whys and, you know, why you have this problem. And then I am X, Y, Z, and I understand that I do this. Okay, but now that you caught the pattern, you need to understand the root.
Exactly.
And more often than not, you cannot just find the root by talking. Otherwise, talking to friends about your problems will solve your issues.
Absolutely.
Or yeah, mainly that. But so what we do in hypnotherapy is going to the root cause,
Exactly.
which is entering the subconscious, and start looking into the library and seeing like why, picking that memory in which that pattern started.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's say you have a self-doubt and you're not comfortable giving your ideas to people because you believe that they're not good enough. Okay, so once we do the regressions, I will ask you to go back to a time, a place, an event that has all to do with why you firmly believe that your ideas are not good enough.
Yep.
And you know the drill, and that works, and it will take you back to a memory that maybe you didn't even recall.
Absolutely.
Or that was there and you remember, but you're like, but I never thought that was the moment in which I started believing this.
Absolutely.
And usually it's not just one moment. It repeats, right?
Absolutely.
Because the mind needs repetition in order to get something and believe that something is true. So there is a first moment, and then there is repeating moments, maybe in a different color, but is the same, that makes you believe that your ideas are not good enough.
Absolutely. And definitely, basically, the reason why I wanted to bring that at that point is because that is exactly what happens during a session. You go down to triggers, or those memory that triggers your now. So it could be maybe something silly, or of a family member saying something to you, a school teacher saying something to you, sometimes friends joking around when you were a kid or whatsoever. Sometimes it's the most silly thing that you can think about that could actually trigger you.
And you say silly, and maybe silly for an adult,
Yeah.
but most of the time these things happen when you're a child.
Yes.
Usually from the age 0 to 7, because it's where your brain starts shaping and getting all the patterns and beliefs about yourself.
Absolutely.
So even if that sounds silly or not important to an adult now, that child or that teenager believed it to be super important, and it hurt at that moment. So no, it's not silly. Maybe you wouldn't care now because you're an adult and you know better, but as a child you wouldn't.
Exactly.
And so once you get to the root cause and you get that aha moment, then, as I say, understanding is power. Because once you understand something, you can get to change it. Okay, so I know there is a pattern, but I don't understand the why. So how can I change that? But once you understand it, then we can do something about it.
Okay, so let's say now we got the root, we know what is triggering. How do we use that to change the narrative?
So what will happen next is that we will link that moment or those moments, because that we don't go to just one,
of course, absolutely,
event in your life. We go usually to 3 minimum, usually 3. And then we will want to take those 3 specific moments that made you believe that your ideas are not good enough, and link it to the you of today, in which gets this heat when you're sharing an idea, or the tremor that nobody sees but you can feel, or the heart rate going up, all of this, right? So we want to link that with that. And then I would be asking you, the client, how are those moments in your life triggering or like linking to this you in the present? What are the connections? And I want the client to get to that, because if I say it, you might be biased by what
Okay.
I say. So usually that's why we do the work that way. And of course, there is ways to help the client into getting to answer, but most of the time it's better for the person itself to understand, oh wow, these three situations made me believe this
Yeah.
because XYZ.
And how do you rewire your brain from then?
Yeah, so there is different tools used throughout the session. It depends on what arises. I would use one or another. But yeah, so there is these tools in which you get to, understand that you're not that child anymore, or that the person that hurt you cannot any longer, because you're not a child.
Yeah.
And this is the main thing, understanding that those moments are not you, they're just moments.
Yeah.
And so throughout these different exercises that we would do, and I cannot tell you exactly or precisely what in your case because we haven't done the session, but once we do that, and it could be 2 or 1 exercise depending on which one to use, once we do that, then we go to the reframe. And the reframe uses repetition to make you understand that you're not that child, that you're not that moment, you're not that person who was told that didn't have good ideas, or that made you believe anything in that precise moment. And you would repeat it for at least 3 times, so the person gets it in properly.
Absolutely.
Because your brain needs repetition in order to understand and believe something.
Absolutely.
So once we do the reframing what was believed as true as this is not your truth anymore, then we go to the last part, which is the you the you now. Okay, now you're with this new belief are like this. Okay, so now you're confident, you feel free, you know that your words and your ideas have value, and is external to people, it's to yourself.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, yeah, we can put some, people love your ideas here and there, but it doesn't really matter, because the person who has to believe that your ideas are valuable, it's you.
Yourself. Yeah, absolutely. And I was thinking about it, obviously very often, and that might be a bit of a deviation right now, but it just came to my mind that very often people think that hypnotherapy are only if you have self-doubt, low self-esteem, and all of this. But actually, hypnotherapy can help to other things as well that people would think is not major. For example, smoking. People think that, I'll just quit smoking and that's it. But actually, hypnotherapy can help you.
Yeah.
So tell me more about, let's say, if someone that comes with, I want to quit smoking, or maybe bite my nails, or things that people wouldn't know needs to be healed, are actually can be healed through hypnotherapy.
So I am an ex-smoker.
Okay.
And I firmly believed when I used to smoke that I loved smoking.
Okay.
And this is the first problem. Believing that
It's
you
fine.
love something is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you keep saying that to yourself and you will believe it's true. You believe you love smoking? Yes, then you do, because you're telling that yourself every single day. So the first thing is, okay, you need to come here. You need to truly, absolutely, completely want to quit smoking. And this is the first rule of hypnotherapy. You need to want it. And it's not just, oh, I want because I know it's not healthy. Because everyone knows that smoking is not healthy. But you really want to quit. It's like, I had enough. This is my time. I can't live like this anymore. I don't want it. Okay? And I'm so focused into doing so. And for smoking, I would say that people usually need at least 2 to 3 sessions, because one, to eradicate that, oh, I love smoking, which usually is
the case,
what they say, is needs a little bit of a push to to tell them no, it's not. This is not
Exactly.
who you are, because smokers tend to believe that that's their identity as well.
Okay.
I'm a smoker.
Yeah.
No, you smoke, but
That's
you're not a
not a
smoker.
smoker. Yeah.
Okay, because then it's part of you. If I say I'm a smoker, oh, Erica is a smoker, so this is part of my identity. No, this is Erica. I smoke.
Okay.
Okay, so it starts with the way you tell things to yourself as well, so you don't take it in as a true part of you. And so there's always something that made you believe that either you like it or it makes you look cooler or that it's part of your identity. So it's the same process. It's basically going back to the root cause, why you started smoking. And for every single person is different.
Yeah.
And once you get to go back to those scenarios, then you understand, okay, so now I believe that when I smoke, I relax because, for example, there was a time in which I was very stressed at the beginning when I started smoking, and I took a cigarette because I wanted to relax. And now your brain thinks, okay, so you did that. You started doing this because you want to relax, and you believe that smoking relaxes you, which doesn't. It doesn't do anything of that. So then now your brain thinks, okay, you love smoking. Smoking relaxes you. Smoking is a joy for you. Hence, why would you quit smoking if it gives you all of these good things? This is not logic, because it's something emotional, it's something wired in you that you need to rewire, like everything.
Absolutely.
And if you're stressed and you're like, oh my God, I really need a cigarette to relax me, then your brain will keep on thinking that, this is what you need. And all your brain does is try to protect you and keep you safe and calm. And if you're telling your brain that this is what it takes for that to happen, to be safe and relaxed, then go take a cigarette.
Exactly. And I think, again, it goes to show how much our brain can play with us if we're not really conscious about it, right? And that's why we talk about rewiring our brain. We talk about doing the work, right? Yes. And as I said, and I really want to point out and put a lot of emphasis, like, you don't need to be like, I don't know, heartbroken or something. It could be small little things, that your habits that you have that is detrimental to whatever you want to achieve, that you want to change.
Absolutely.
Right? And one thing that I am really happy that you pointed out is that we think very often that therapists or hypnotherapists or any people we go to for like guidance, we think that they will have that magic trick, and just like that, everything will be disappeared, and oh my God, yeah. And then afterwards, when something doesn't disappear and it come back, oh my God, that person was really bad. But the reality is that, first of all, like you said, you need to want it, like 100% want to change it, because what comes with that is a lot of discomfort, because you're going back to places where you ran away, technically, mentally ran away or mentally switched off. So you need to be okay with that.
Absolutely. And what you're saying is, it's so valuable, because your mind will always choose familiar over unfamiliar, right? Absolutely. And even if that familiarity does you wrong or is not good for you, but it's what you're used to. So Absolutely. You'll go back to it. And maybe that is keeping you small, or it's keeping you back from speaking up for yourself, or to stop that people pleasing, or whatever it is, going out of your house because for some reason you're scared of going out into the society. Absolutely. Whatever the problem is. But yeah, so as I said before, your mind just wants to keep you safe.
Yeah.
And it will do all it takes to keep you safe, because this is just our primal instincts.
Of course.
You gotta be safe. And if you teach it that not speaking will keep you safe, because if I don't speak up, then people won't hear my ideas and I will not be judged. So if I don't be judged, I'll be fine. But that's going to keep you small, because you are aiming into a specific goal. And the only way to get to that goal is by speaking up.
Absolutely.
Right? So yes, it's uncomfortable. Even the session, it's not a walk in the park. And
Of
you
course.
know this. It can get heavy, can be sad or less. I'm not here trying to scare people. I mean,
It's based on experience.
It's based on experience, and usually it lets your emotion come
Absolutely
out, and it's a good thing. We refrain ourselves from expressing our emotions, and that's the time to let it all out. So yeah, it's not easy, but it's necessary.
Absolutely.
Nothing that comes easy is,
absolutely
as valuable as something that you have really worked on.
Exactly. And I think whenever like even when we discussed about it, like for me, when I think of like after a session of hypnotherapy, it's not just like done and dusted. You've got to put in the work. So it's like almost going to the gym or doing like waking up in the morning and brushing your teeth. You make it a habit of like, right, I will reframe my thinking. I will listen to my recording that will help me rewire my brain. I will do what needs to be done. I'll put in the work to help me and enable my brain to change the narrative. And the reality is, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is work.
Exactly.
It is work. The same like the analogy that you just used about the gym. Starting going to the gym appeals to a lot of people because of the results that give you. But going to the gym once will not give you the six-pack or the muscle definition that you're looking for. You need to go and repeat it over and over and over and over again. And for everyone, that journey is different.
Exactly.
And you know this because what works for a girl who is lean all her life might not work to another person who the tendencies are otherwise.
Absolutely.
And so the journey is different for everyone, but it requires a lot of repetition, a lot of self-awareness, commitment. And sometimes there's days you don't want to go to the gym.
Absolutely.
But you have to, because you will feel better later. And so it's the same with the mind. If you have a problem that is really truly affecting your life, you can choose to stay that way and be comfortable in that familiarity, or you can decide to put in the work and be okay. I'll be uncomfortable for a little bit. I don't know what that time will be for that person, but I know that it's going to be so worth the challenge, because I'm going to come out stronger and I'll be free once for all.
I love that. And let me ask you a question. Ever since that, obviously you started and you understand more and more, you were already very aware because you've did psychology before. You were already very aware, but now you got the tools and all of that. If I were to ask you, what is one thing, since you've been in like a hypnotherapy, like what is one thing that you are working on
myself?
On yourself?
Oh, there is many things I work on myself.
Okay, let's say the first thing that comes to your mind that you had to put in the work, and like you generally said to yourself, right, I'm gonna put in the work, and maybe you're still in that journey. And just to show an example of like,
so something that I'm working on lately would be putting myself out there more. Just doing things that usually I wouldn't be so comfortable about. Like I'm going on a boat on this Saturday, and I barely know one of the girls who invited me, and usually I would be like, nah, I mean, I'm not comfortable with that. But I'm deciding to do so because I understand that the connections that you can get from environments that are unfamiliar to you and getting to know other people, especially because of my other job, I think is very important to to get these sort of networking events,
Absolutely.
which is just social, but you never know where that can lead you. And because I am so comfortable having my friends and going out with my friends, and I'm like, okay, I don't need any more friends. But sometimes it's not just about that. It's okay, get out of your comfort zone. You don't know what that can lead to for anything in your life. So I would say, like, just relax and be more flexible in what I do, and not always trying to have, okay, I do ABC and this is what I do and that's it. So yeah.
And let's say if I were to ask you, what triggered that before, where you were like, I'm not going outside?
Well, I am not sure, but it would be a long story. If I had to bring my theory of the why, would be because I made myself believe that I am good or better in smaller environments, like with just one or two people. And so if I believe that's true, that's what I'm going to keep doing. But it's not necessarily true.
And I love that. And I love that you're actually doing the work. I love to see you going outside of your comfort zone. And it's really nice to see. And it goes to show that even your hypnotherapist also works on herself. You know,
Absolutely,
a
we're
lot
all
of people
human.
think that, oh my God, my therapists have everything figured out. No, they have to do a lot of work as well on themselves.
Yeah.
So we're coming towards the end, obviously, before we go to the final part. If you think I've missed out on something, and if you want to mention something about hypnotherapy, if you want to raise awareness, what would be something that you would like to say to anyone who's listening to us today?
I think we've covered most, but one thing that I would love to tell everyone is stop saying, I can't. If what you want to do is something that you truly want to do. And let's say, okay, I want to lose weight, but I can't stop eating. Stop saying that. Stop saying that, because if you say you can't, you will never try.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And start talking differently to yourself. Be open and know that humans are capable of a lot of things. All of us, we have certain things we're good at, others that not so much, but we learn by trying.
Absolutely.
And if you keep your mind open and be like, okay, instead of saying I can't, which is putting a wall in front of yourself, be like, okay, I'll try, I'll see. Then it's not a wall, it's a door that you're willing to open.
Absolutely.
So be that person who wants to open the door, not just wanting to have a wall in front of yourself.
Absolutely. And also, I want just to add on that a reminder of being careful of what we say to ourselves.
Always.
By the way, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't know about that. But yeah, so yeah, be very wary and careful of what you say to yourself, because you're the first person you should take care of.
Yeah.
Literally.
And I remind myself of that every single day. If I catch myself saying like, oh, because you are, no. You're amazing.
You're in my mind.
Full stop.
Literally, if you want to know how I reframe my brain, I just have Erica in my brain saying, whoa, what are you saying right now? And I'm like, okay, stop. Sorry. Right. So before we go to rapid fire questions, I have myth or reality segment.
Okay.
It's
this is new.
I know. I was I'm trying new things.
All right.
So hypnotherapy can control your mind.
No.
You lose control during a session.
False.
It's only for trauma.
False.
It works in one session.
Yes and no. Depends.
Okay. Hypnotherapy is a two-way relationship, as in you have to work together.
Absolutely.
You need to be weak for it to work.
No.
It's just placebo.
No.
Everyone can be hypnotized.
Absolutely, yes.
If it didn't work once, it won't work again.
No.
Okay. There you go. That was sweet
Sorry, I
of
was
you.
like, no, false, whatever.
So
But
basically,
yeah.
no is myth.
Yeah.
Yes is reality.
This not came easily.
Exactly. So let's do rapid fire question.
Let's
Ready?
go.
You're used to it now.
Yeah. We'll see.
Overthinking or overfeeling?
Overthinking.
One thing people do that keeps them stuck.
Talking bad to themselves.
Most common issue you see.
Most common issue that I see? Not feeling good enough.
A belief people need to rewire ASAP.
That they're not good enough.
Okay. Funniest misconception about hypnotherapy?
That the person doing the session for you will control you.
Okay. One habit that quietly destroys self-confidence.
Keep repeating to yourself that you can't do something.
Okay. If your subconscious had a voice, what would it say to most people?
I think I said it earlier, but talk nicely to yourself, believe in yourself, and everything else will just follow.
Okay. One small daily practice that actually works.
Meditation.
Red flag in someone's mindset.
Believing that their whatever they believe is true is the only
way.
Yes.
Okay.
I phrased that wrong, but
No,
yeah.
I get it.
Being so certain that something is true that they're not willing to listen to others, let's say.
Okay, perfect. Green flag in someone doing the work.
Observing what they do, just not trying to over control it, and then after the observation try to see the why and rewire that.
Okay, no, but what I mean is like when, let's say one of your client is doing the work.
Okay.
What are the green flag that you see they're progressing and not downgrade? Downpressing. You got it, guys.
Sure.
By now, everyone knows my English.
I'm not sure I am understanding the question. So
let's say if I'm doing the work, right? And you're following up with me, right? What are the signs that you see in my maybe habit or way of thinking that you're like, oh, that's a green flag because she's actually doing the work?
Okay, well, one of them would be listening to the recording.
Okay.
And I would start seeing changes in the way that they talk to me instead of keep on having that negative talk.
Okay.
That started to change.
Right, and the last one. If someone... hold on, my question disappeared. Oh, no. Okay, here. If someone listening feels stuck in self-doubt, what's the first step they can take today?
You can talk to yourself first and ask yourself out loud or in your mind, but I think sometimes talking out loud to yourself would be like, okay, what is it that I need in order to feel better about myself? And if you don't know the answer, there's a lot of professionals out there to help you finding that answer that you're seeking.
Perfect. Thank you so much. That was a beautiful episode.
Thank you for
your
having
time.
me.
If anyone wants to reach out to Erica and book a session, I'll put all the links in the description box. And anything else before I close?
Thank you so much.
Welcome, as always. And on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you. And I'll see you in the next one.